what stood out? What was left unsaid? Now let's break it down with our political analysts.
Joining us today are Michael Yusinko of the Ateneo de Manila University and Dennis Coronacion of the University of Santo Tomas.
Wow.
Full force pala tayo
Good
today.
morning sa mga mga intelligent minds from two different schools.
Oo. O sige.
Okay, let's begin. Anyone can answer. The question was here kasi this seemed like a unique SONA because this was a SONA of the president holding everyone else accountable for the administration's misgivings. Despite of it being the fourth, kasi why unusual? Usually mga ganito, second and third. Usually fourth, puro accomplishment na ito. So, what do you think of it? What the president is trying to convey? Let's start off with Prof. Michael.
So, beauty before age, ah? Okay.
Bahala na kayo mag-uusap dyan.
Prof. Michael, ano yung pinaparamdam niya by holding accountability, pero fourth na to eh?
The answer is simple, no? It was the result of the 2025 midterm election. You cannot avoid it. The president could not deny that the election results or the message behind the election results, no? Na people are dissatisfied, right? Voters are dissatisfied with the administration. So I don't think he had a choice, no? He could have stuck to quote unquote a script and say na, or the script na eto na, itong mga magagandang nagawa namin, ito na, ganyan. But that's not really the reality we live in now, right? So I think the president had no choice but to start from where the reality is, and that's many Filipinos are struggling. Many Filipinos, actually ang best description is many Filipinos are living paycheck to paycheck. In other words, hindi naman sila lugmok sa kahirapan, pero they are struggling and they are dissatisfied, and they showed that in the 2025 midterm. So I suppose that's the way to look at it. The president really had no choice but to begin or start from that realization.
Yeah, before I turn it over to Angel, dugtong lang kay Prof. Dennis, yung sinabi ni Prof. Michael, no? Parang sabi he had no choice, there's no and a lot of people are suffering. Ang question is, if iba ang naging resulta ng midterm, would this SONA sound the way it sounded?
Well, I don't think so. Tingin ko it's the SONA would the message in that SONA would still remain the same, and I think even the approach, the attitude of the president would be the same. So bakit ko sinasabi to? Because I think the president has become very aware of the new political environment or situation that he has found himself in. In the span of 3 years, nagbago yung kanyang yung political reality niya. From having important allies in the government, na right after the election na-realize niya, kukunti na lang pala. Even his vice president is no longer there standing side by side with him. So realizing this new political reality, actually even before the elections he was still hoping na pwede pa sila mag-reconcile. But I think he has already accepted the fact that some of his allies would no longer be there until he ends his term. In fact, part ng pagre-reflect niya is that yung acceptance niya ng ganyang bagong reality niya is that he took a swipe at various political figures na hindi niya lang sinabi mga pangalan, pero he mentioned their businesses. Yung water utilities, for example, o kaya yung mga failures ng past administration, ngayon kino-call out niya na, which he never did before.
Correct.
And which is quite easy to understand because before he was tolerating, he was accommodating yung mga kapalpakan ng mga political allies niya, because he did not want to run the risk of alienating them. Ayaw niya mawala. Pero ngayon, natanggap niya na, wala na talaga kayo, so babanatan ko na kayo. Yun ang tingin ko dyan,
Well, yeah. To be fair, he did mention, he did admit sa first part of his speech na referendum ito ng naging midterm elections. Ibig sabihin, hindi solved, di ba? Kumbaga, ang taong bayan pagdating sa kanilang ginagawa in his administration. But yung issue ng flood control projects, ito yung naging focus in the last part of his speech yesterday, and there were a lot of applause because of the, or actually cheerings and applause, di ba? Because of the term na sinabi niya, mahiya naman kayo. So the question here, this is, does the call ring hollow? Meaning, coming from a family who has history of corruption, di ba? Gaano kabigat itong sinabi niya yesterday?
Well, for me, that was...
Okay.
For me, that was the climax of the SONA, no? Because yan yung, that was something that should be said, and it was the president who should say it, no? Yan yung hinihintay ng taong bayan. But you're correct, no? It will ring hollow if there is no action after this, no? And what action am I talking about, no? I'm talking about the appointment of a more capable and devoted ombudsman.
Yes.
Kasi alam naman natin that the ombudsman is responsible for investigating and prosecuting graft and corruption in government. Now, what we need in the context of what the president said is a ombudsman na hindi matitinag at hindi matatakot sa mga political dynasties. Because yung sinabi ng Pangulo na mahiya naman kayo, alam naman natin kung sino sinasabihan niya noon, di ba? Mga political dynasties sa harap niya. Because sila naman talaga yung kumikita dito sa mga flood control projects na to. We all know that. We have a paper that proves that. So, the only way na yung challenge na yon by the President in the SONA not to ring hollow, as Angela said, is for the ombudsman, for the president to appoint an ombudsman who is more capable and more devoted and who will not be afraid to prosecute political dynasties.
Oo. Sir Dennis, ikaw, do you agree with that? Okay ba yun? Do you feel yung sincerity ng Pangulo yesterday when he said that?
Yes, I agree with Attorney Yusinko's opinion, that the president, I agree that the president should not stop at exposing the names of those public officials and government employees, as well as contractors, who were involved in this. I don't know kung yung mga controversial na mga what do you call this, yung flood control projects na yan. And kasi dati parang otherwise this would become an empty threat, kapag puro lang siya statement sa SONA and then without doing a follow-up. So I think the president is sending a strong message kasi nga because of his different political milieu. Tingin ko mas seryoso siya ngayon. But there was an instant reaction from the crowd,
Yeah.
Bukod doon sa mga legislators na nandun, parang nagulat sila in a way. Although may mga pumalakpak, maraming pumalakpak. Pero ang ano doon is that yung kumakalat na opinion sa social media was that does he have the moral ascendancy, given the fact, as you said, na given his family's background in government service, wherein they're being accused of parang committing corruption. Nung panahon pa ng tatay niya, So, yun ang malaking tanong doon meron bang moral ascendancy ang Pangulo upang i-call out at saka magsagawa ng ganyan? Pero sa akin lang, kung hindi niya gagawin yun, gaya ng sabi ni Attorney, who else is going to do that? Being the leader of the country, I think kahit pa hindi okay yung background niya, yung ng family niya, still has to do it. Kasi kung hindi siya mag-umpisa niyan, sino pa?
Yeah, Prof. Mike, kasi he mentioned also, well, alam naman natin, one of his major campaign promises was 20 pesos na bigas. Now, if you take a look at that promise, oo nga, hindi naman niya sinabi na organic pricing or yung actual market price na 20 pesos. So, baka sabihin nila mga ibang tao, sarcastic yun. So, when he said na-achieve na, do you think that's true? Because parang ang achievement na 20 pesos sa bigas is only sa Kadiwa stores, which is subsidized. So it's
Which
not
is pera natin
pera
ginagamit.
natin yun. So it's not really 20 pesos per kilo in the market.
So, in this particular instance, obviously, there's a failure of communication between politician and the people, no? Ganyan talaga nangyayari kapag ang mga politician natin ay, prone to promising the stars and the moon, tapos yung mga taong bayan willing to accept. Kasi dapat nung nangampanya pa lang siya about this, dapat na-challenge na siya agad
Yeah, oh.
Na-challenge na siya agad na, teka mo na, anong ibig ko sabihin na 20 pesos per kilo, ganyan. But the problem is, there was no challenge at that time, which gave him the leeway na, nung nanalo na siya magdi-define anong ibig sabihin ng 20 pesos na bigas.
That's why he was
And
vague
here we
about
are
it.
now, no?
Yeah.
Here we are now na yung 20 pesos is subsidized by taxpayers. Now, syempre, hindi mo naman tayong mga taxpayers, mahirap naman na magreklamo dyan kasi marami rin natutulungan na kababayan natin. That cannot be denied na maraming kababayan natin ang nagiginawaan dahil sa ganon, dahil sa programang yan. But still, hindi dapat rin natin pabayaan na medyo na hoodwink tayo dito in a sense na yung 20 pesos na akala natin will be, market price or dictated by market forces, hindi pala gano'n, di ba? Subsidy pala yung ibig sabihin. So, lesson learned dapat ito when it comes to listening or hearing politicians make promises na tila na maganda pero dapat i-challenge.
Kayo naman, nangako na nga, gusto mo pa ito pa rin. Dugtong lang muna before dugtong lang kasi Prof. Dennis, yung bigas issue na to was supposed to be a legacy building for one of the legacy na iiwanan sa atin ni President Bongbong Marcos. Ngayon, a lot of us think, that parang hindi ito kaya talaga sa merkado, no? O anong matitirang legacy building na pwede iwan sa atin given na lame duck stage na ito?
Well, tama kayo na. If that's being eyed as one of the legacies of the president, I don't think it's going to be a good legacy. Kasi nga, it's heavily subsidized by the government and it's not commercially viable. So I think pag pumasok yung bagong presidente by 2028, it's one of those projects by the predecessor na i-scrap agad. Yan ang tingin ko dyan Tapos, of course, alam naman natin that subsidies are always frowned upon in governance. O kasi ano lang yan they are seen as short-term solutions pero hindi siya permanent. Pero given the track record of our government regardless of the administration parang na yata tayo, mahilig na yung government natin na kung hindi magsa-subsidize, magdo-dole out. Just like, although maganda intention, yung 4Ps for example, pero hindi naman maganda nagiging epekto at saka nagiging instrument of patronage politics.
Correct.
Pero ako, I wanna continue this to Professor Dennis. I wanna talk about the manner of his speech yesterday. He spoke in Filipino language. Some would say na he spoke to the people rather than the legislators in front of him as compared to the previous speeches. Some would say populist yung naging speech niya yesterday dahil libreng ganito, zero bill out sa ospital, may pa Zumba, may pa sports, etc. Your thoughts on that po?
Well, obviously he chose his audience.
Would you consider that populist?
He chose his audience yesterday to his speech niya. Tama kayo, he was talking more with the people rather than the people inside batas ng pambansa. And having that intention, ang ginamit niyang language is the language of the masses. Yung ating lengguwahe, yung parang naalala natin si Erap at saka si Pinoy sa kanyang ginamit na wika kahapon. And I think dahil doon, mas marami nakaintindi sa mga mensahe ng kanyang SONA speech. At the same time, nag-resonate yung mga messages. Kasi nga, bukod doon sa language na ginamit, ay yun ding yung mensahe na mas marami pang dole-outs na ibibigay ng government in the form of social services. Kagaya ngayon, wala na
free
kayong
stuff.
babayaran sa hospital pag kayo nagkasakit, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I think it sounded populist, lalo na I think kung ilalagay natin sa konteksto ng midterm elections, tsaka yung assessment ng mga tao na kaya nagde-decline yung kanyang popularity in the past several months, was because of several shortcomings by his administration.
Right.
That's right.
Do you agree with that? Yeah,
Go.
Attorney, do you agree with that? Is it really a populist speech yesterday?
Oh yes, 100%. No, I don't think anyone can deny that the president was, if not being populist, trying to be a populist. No? Ang issue ko lang doon sa paggamit ng Filipino kasi is nahirapan siya So hindi siya sanay.
It's not natural.
Right? Hindi siya sanay mag-Filipino at halatang-halata na hindi siya sanay. So that was a big risk, no, na gagamitin mo ang isang lengguwahe na hindi mo gamay gamitin, no. So whether it worked or not, I don't know, that remains to be seen, no, kung yung mga meron bang way to measure that, no. But certainly from my perspective, sa impression ko, yung ganong klaseng pananalita ng Filipino, yan yung tinatawag namin sa college dati, yung mga konyo, ganyan magsalita ng Filipino.
Attorney,
so, hindi ka komportable.
Yeah, it's parang kasi the attempt to use Filipinos to connect, try to connect kasi in relation to that, this is his midterm SONA, no? Parang referendum SONA. And if you take a look at the numbers of the last two presidents, mas mataas sa mga numero nila kay PBBM. He has a lower trust rating than the last two presidents. So do you think, given na ito na yung last 2 minutes, ano na ang pwedeng gawin ni PBBM to increase his numbers so that kung sino man i-endorse niya sa next presidency, di ba may laban, may fighting chance. Take a look at kasi the other remaining projects. Parang the other remaining projects were passovers from the last administration. So ano pa ang pwede niyang gawin para at least tumaas-taas ang trust rating niya?
Actually, sagot dyan, nandun sa SONA na rin mismo Yung sinabi ni Pangulong Marcos sa mga kaalyado niya sa Kongreso, sinabi niya, huwag niyo gagalawin tong NEP, yung budget ko. Right? Kasi kung titignan mo, kung pinakinggan mo yung SONA, na puro, sabi nga ni Dean Dennis, maraming mga ayuda in the form of social services. Kung pakikinggan mo talaga, sinabi niya, ang daming mga bilyones na inalot niya dun sa budget niya.
Yeah.
Precisely para ma-fulfill niya yung mga pangako niya. At sabi nga, at kaya nasabi niya sa mga kaalyado niya, huwag niyo galawin to, huwag niyo bawasan to. Katulad ng ginawa ninyo noong 2025 na binawasan niyo yung DepEd, binawasan niyo yung DOH. Kaya nga siya natalo siguro noong 2025, di ba? And I think that is the way, that is probably the only way na tumaas ang trust rating niya. And that is yung pera na inalot niya dito sa budget niya, hindi galawin at mapunta to dun sa mga services na pinangako niya.
Ayun.
I think kung yung, in other words, kung yung pinlano niya, na sinabi niya sa SONA, magkaroon ng pondo at matupad, I think that will boost his trust rating.
Ayun.
Kasi mararamdaman ng taong bayan yun.
Okay.
They will
Alright.
feel it
Oo, no. Well, we don't have much time. Prof. Dennis, baka meron kayong gustong i-add very quickly lang before we let you go.
Yeah, idagdag ko lang sa sinabi ni Attorney na at this point parang ang goal ng president is to clean the house. Yung housekeeping, Yung pa lang, I think pag na-fulfill niya yung ganung, naayos niya yung kanyang pamumuno, yung kanyang gobyerno, that's going to be his legacy. Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, we'll see, no?
We'll see
Kasi
next
sabi
year.
nga nila, a statement is different from implementing.
Mag-usap-usap tayo next year. Tingnan natin kung nalinis niya ngayong house.
Alright, maraming salamat po sa inyong oras. Political analyst Michael Yusinko, Attorney Michael Yusinko, and Professor Dennis Coronacion.